Exactly 3 years ago, our quarterback, Jesse Wagner, in his 4th year in the NFL, led the Rams to their 2nd Super Bowl title in this franchise. But since then, the Rams have lost 2 straight playoff games. First coming against the Philadelphia Eagles in the divisional round against Jalen Hurts, losing by a score of 14-7. The year after that, we lost again against our division rivals, Seattle Seahawks, just a couple yards shy of the goal line. And now we enter year 13, the final season with the Los Angeles Rams. And this is the team to make one final run to close this Madden 24 series. And most of the offense from last year has returned. We pretty much have all the same playmakers. Our quarterback, our running back, McCoon and Jackson, and pretty much the entire receiving core. Holcomb's back in year number 2 for him, and the offensive line only has one new player in Mark Barrett. On defense, it's a pretty similar story, except we do have 2 rookies, or 3 rookies actually, starting with Marquise McCoy, Dennis Hartwell, and now Tim Studebaker along the defensive line. But guys like Levy, Ruiz, Finch, George Vance, and Richards have all come back from last year as well, because we're just going to try and run things back. In the first round, we drafted Mark Barrett at left guard, and he's going to be a big part of this offensive line at left guard because he comes in with superstar development. He should be a really well-rounded lineman for us and should really give us a boost in place of Greg Teal, who now plays for the 49ers in the same division. But at second overall, we drafted Tim Studebaker with 82 finesse moves and a superstar X-Factor depth trait. He will have a big role to play to get this defense back to where they need to be, because last year, they weren't as good as we all think that they probably should have been, especially compared to previous Rams title winners. With Darius Richards, he comes in at 32 years old, entering his 12th season in the NFL. He was the first ever player that we drafted in this series, and this could be his final year. We don't really know if he's going to retire or not. So this is the last year in the series, and it might be the last year for him as well, after being the first ever draft pick by the Rams since Damian Leak took over as head coach. But what about our quarterback, Jesse Wagner, entering year number 7, coming off a pretty solid year numbers-wise, but we did not play well to close the year on the offensive side of the ball. We did not take care of the ball as well as we did the last couple of seasons. And to get back to where this team needs to be, he has got to be way better in terms of not fumbling, not throwing picks, and just being overall more consistent with the ball in his hands. The first game, though, week 1, comes against the Atlanta Falcons, taking on Quentin Jacobs and the Falcons. They no longer have Lamar Jackson under center. They have a new quarterback in town. It's going to be a rematch of perhaps the game of the year from year number 12 as we go into our first week of the last year in the series. This game would come all the way down to the 4th quarter. Rams driving, trailing by 7. On 3rd and 9, Wagner is taken down back at the 19-yard line by Harris for a big sack. And the Rams would be held to a field goal. That was the 3rd sack, by the way, for the Falcons in this game to this point. The Falcons would take over from their 18-yard line, and Jacobs on the very first play would lose the ball. Jarred loose by Darius Richards and recovered by Brian Stewart, and the Rams would get the ball right back, trailing by 4 inside the red zone. Just over 3 to go. Wagner trailing back, and he's taken down again. A loss of 11, the 3rd sack of the game for Marcos Villarreal. 22 yards out, this pass is caught by Holcomb. A big gain of 21.5 right there to make it 3rd and very short. Out of the warning, looking for the end zone, right back to him. Jason Holcomb, touchdown in the last 2 minutes of this game. And the Rams take the lead off of the Quentin Jacobs fumble. 1:28 to go. And under pressure, Jacobs goes down. The sack made by Raheem Finch. That brings up 3rd and 9. Jacobs' pass is deflected away by Carlos Ruiz. They're held to a 4th and 9 conversion. Their last chance to keep this game alive. Good protection, and it's broken up for Bijan Robinson, and the defense gets off the field. The Rams would drive down the field once again to put the game away on ice thanks to Trey Bone with that touchdown. And the Rams would come from behind in the fourth quarter to win their opening game of the season by 10 points, 31-21. A really good way to start our year after most week ones typically don't go well for this team. It was a very good day for Jesse Wagner. 3 touchdowns, no INTs, a rating of over 121. Now, Jacobs played pretty well, but that fumble really cost them. And on the ground, Blackshear ran the ball for a Benjamin on 22 carries. And through the air, McCollum had 2 touchdowns on 60-plus yards. He will play in the slot this year, which he was not playing last year, where David Jackson kind of took that role. That might have had a pretty big impact on the offense last year, too. We'll see how McCollum does this year with that production back in his usual spot. The Rams would go on to split their next 2 games, with their first loss coming against the Niners in Week 3 by only 3 points. Despite a pretty, okay day, I guess, from Trevor Lawrence, Wagner outperformed him, but we allowed 4.5 per carry to Ben Winston, and the offense could not get going on the ground. Less than 2.5 per carry for Antonio Blackshear after a really good Week 1 performance. But our second overall pick would pick up 2 sacks here in that game. We go into a matchup against the 3-0 Philadelphia Eagles. And this game would come down to another fourth quarter finish. Frank Drummond a big pick. Offense trying to drive down the field. And a Glenn Douglas field goal would make it a 7-point Rams lead. On 4th and 5, the Eagles would have to punt. 3.5 to play and counting. And then Blackshear would put the game away with a massive 93-yard touchdown run. A big way to bounce back after last week against the 49ers. And we would give the Eagles their first loss of the season. They fall to 3-1. The Rams matched them with that 3-1 record. And Antonio Blackshear puts up over 150 yards on the ground with 2 scores. We did allow 1 scoring touchdown to Thaddeus Hudson on the ground, but we got 2 picks, one from the rookie Hartwell and one from Frank Drummond in that fourth quarter to help us on the way to the win. That would take us into Week 4, taking on the now winless Seattle Seahawks, who again took us down in the wild card last season. They were 10-7 last year, but now they are 0-4 entering this game, our first of the season against this Seattle team. Another close fourth quarter. Under 3 to go, Rams with it up by 6, trying to put the game away as Blackshear finds some room on the outside, breaks a tackle, makes one more man miss, and gains a big first down up to their 25-yard line. Last play before the warning, he gets it right back on the ground and will once again move the chains to take us to the 2-minute warning here at Lumen Fields. It would hold us to a 4th down. It would be a field goal for Glenn Douglas. He would put the game away with the field goal to make it 23-14, and Seattle falls to 0-5 after a playoff winning season just a year ago. And this would not just be a big week because we beat the Seahawks, it's also a big week because we had one player break out on the defense, and that would be Frank Drummond. He would earn star development because of back-to-back games with a really solid performance in the 3rd level of this defense. And once again, Jesse Wagner puts together a really clean day, 23 for 30, over 300 passing yards, 2 touchdowns, no picks, and McCollum continues to rack up touchdowns, now over 100 yards in this game, plus 2 more scores. He would bounce back against the Niners in week number 5 with a win 21-16, as we will split the season series against this team, and we will once again get a pretty good day from our quarterback. Antonio Blackshear ran the ball very well in this game, 91 yards, 1 touchdown on only 22 carries, and we would get another touchdown from Denard McCollum, just continuing to rack up scores. And once again, Tim Studebaker, the 2nd overall pick, gets a sack in this game. That would take us into a really tough game against the 5-1 Cleveland Browns, bolstering at this point the number 1 scoring defense. Both teams enter looking for their 6th win of the year and trying to avoid their 2nd loss, as Deontay McCoon is dragged into the end zone in the first quarter, and the Rams would take a very early lead on their first drive of the game. Browns trying to drive down the field and respond here in this first half. Under 7 to go in the second quarter. It's Arrington on the ground. He will move the sticks. 5 carries on 23 yards so far. It would go right back to on 1st and 10 for another nice 9-yard pickup. Now from the 10, they feed it to him again up to the 5-yard line. Just feeding the beast right now, and so far it's working. And eventually he would dive his way into the end zone for a Browns touchdown. This game is all tied up as we approach halftime. We go to the second half. Rams leading 10-7. Wagner looking for the end zone. He's got McCollum for touchdown 7 or 8 already on the season. And right now the Rams offense is absolutely cooking with Jesse Wagner under center. Passing game has looked a lot cleaner in these last couple of weeks. Over the middle and for the end zone, a tight window throw complete for a touchdown from Cabrera to Thaddeus Pickett. And the Browns are not going away here in this one. Just a really nice throw right up the seam. Just a straight shot for the back of the end zone. That is a great throw right there. On the very next Rams drive, Wagner would throw his first pick of the entire season to Broderick Reddick, and the Browns would take over, trailing by 3 inside the 15-yard line in LA territory, trying to take their first lead of the ball game. And they would get in the end zone on the heels of Jalen Arrington. They would lead by 4, approaching the fourth quarter. Rams trying to drive down the field and respond to that touchdown possession after the turnover. That pass is batted away, intended for Deontay McCoon. After a 10-yard loss on a hole, we get another big gain. It's McCoon for a gain of 19.5 to bring up 3rd and short. Sticking with the air, it is hauled in by Antonio Blackshear for a first and up to the Browns' 10-yard line. Goal to go, looking for the end zone. It's caught again for a touchdown. Number 2 for Deontay McCoon, the new number 1 X-Factor receiver on this Rams offense, trying to make a name for himself in terms of scoring, because usually he's not a guy to really rack up touchdowns. But so far in this game, he has been doing a great job of that. The Browns get within the red zone on their next drive, but they will answer right back with a touchdown to Daniel Kenoy, the star tight end. And this game is not over yet. The Browns jump back in front off that touchdown. Just over 3 to go. Play fake for Wagner. He's going to launch it down the field. It's broken up, intended for McCoon. They are across the Browns 45, keeping it through the air. Another nice grab on the halfback wheel by Antonio Blackshear. Will bring up another nice gain. 2nd and 12 inside the warning. Right back to Blackshear through the air. Up to the Browns' 25-yard line. Now over 300 passing yards in this game once again for Jesse Wagner. And more play action. Pressure coming. It's thrown away. On 4th and 3, the offense would have to stay out there for the Rams. Under 90 seconds left to go. It's hauled in by Jason Holcomb for a first down. The drive is kept alive. Dumped off for Jackson. That's a little fake move the other way, and he is planted after a 9-yard pickup. And the Rams are approaching the 5-yard line, just trying to get one more score on the board, and they would go right back to Holcomb again for another fourth-quarter touchdown. And the Rams would take a 3-point lead with under 45 seconds left to go, trying to move to 6-1 on the year. 36 seconds left for Cabrera and the Browns offense. Pressure comes off the edge. That is Tim Studebaker with the big 5-yard sack. They would have to burn their first timeouts. 2nd and long, more pressure coming. It's floated over the top, and it's broken up by another rookie, free safety Dennis Hartwell. It comes down to a 4th down for the Browns. Cabrera feeling the heat, and it is broken up by Carlos Ruiz. And that would end this game once again. Another defensive stop to close it after a last-second score drive by the Rams. And they take it 31-28 here at home in SoFi. Another great performance by our quarterback. 4 touchdowns, over 330 passing yards, and once again, a fantastic rating. Deontay McCoon, a massive day through the air. 2 touchdowns over a Benjamin, and McCollum and Holcomb continue to get touchdowns in these games. And our quarterback would win an Offensive Player of the Week. And at this point, our second overall pick had 5 sacks almost halfway through this year, hoping for more of the same the rest of the way. In our next game, we would absolutely demolish the Seahawks 44-7 behind 5 touchdowns and a nearly perfect passing day from Jesse Wagner, 26 for 31 through the air. Just an unbeatable performance. The ground game was pretty solid in terms of the efficiency. Barnett got 9 carries as a fullback for some reason, and 2 more touchdowns through the air for McCollum. He continues to get scores week after week, and so does Deontay McCoon and Jason Holcomb. The offense just cannot be stopped these last couple of weeks. And once again, our quarterback wins NFC Offensive Player of the Week in back-to-back games. At this point, McCollum had 11 touchdowns to McCoon's 5. Holcomb had 3, and McCollum and McCoon were just separated by a single yard and only 2 receptions, while Holcomb had the most on the team at this point in the season, and Wagner had only thrown 2 picks to 21 touchdowns through these first 8 or so games of the season, putting together one of his best years of his entire career halfway through the final season. That would take us into a very close game against the Arizona Cardinals, who come in with a 5-3 record. It's the first quarter. Rams trying to drive down the field on their first possession, and that pass is caught for a first down by McCollum. From the 12, good protection all day to throw, and it's a touchdown once again for Deontay McCoon. Number 6 on the year for the X Factor wideouts, and the offense picks it right where they left off in the previous game. They would drive down the field once more, leading 7-0. McCoon gains 8 here on an 8-for-8 start through the air for Jesse Wagner. Still driving here in the second. This one's hauled in. That is Jason Holcomb for a first down inside the 5-yard line. Rams knocking on the door. Goal to go. On 3rd down, another touchdown looking McCoon's way. And the Rams take a 14-0 lead against their division rival Arizona Cardinals, trying to make it in for themselves and get back in the win column in this division. And they would drive down the field on their next drive. 6 to play, rolling out. Simpson completes the pass for a touchdown to his backup tight end, Christopher Sawyer. And they are back in this game approaching the halftime break. Under a minute to play. Rams at the Cardinals 33. Underneath and caught. Blackshear zips ahead for a nice gain of 9 or so yards. And Jesse Wagner goes 17 for 17 to open this game. On 3rd and 6, looking for the end zone. Wide open. It's David Jackson for another LA touchdown here in this first half. 2 to McCoon, 1 to Jackson, and now a 21-7 lead for the Rams, approaching the halftime break in another SoFi Stadium game. But the Cardinals would respond. 4th quarter, under 8 to go, and now they're trying to tie the game up here on this drive, trailing by a single touchdown. 2nd down run. This is Anthony Leach, the longtime running back here at Arizona. 3rd and 2, right back to him, but this time he stalled up after a 1-yard run. A Levy on that tackle. The offense stays out there on 4th and 1, and once again, they have a first down. 7 yards out from the end zone. Simpson stepping up and dumping it off inside the 1-yard line. He's also passing very well. Only 2 incompletions. And on 3rd and goal, we would stuff them once again. 4th and goal for the Cardinals. Under 4 to play. The offense once again will go for it on 4th and short. And they will get in the end zone with their backup running back, Darrell Watkins. And the Cardinals tie things up. And at this point, the Rams had scored 0 points since the halftime break having to get back on the board to win this one at home. Play fake, and now Wagner goes down. Andrews with the pressure and the sack to bring up 3rd and 17. More pressure coming, and Wagner never had a chance to get rid of it. And the Cardinals defense comes to life here in the second half, trying to come back from 14 points down. But Simpson's pass is broken up on the next drive by Daniel Levy. They hand it off to Leach. He hurdles over a defender and will gain another first down on the ground. Just over 90 seconds left to go. Going to bounce it outside, and George Vance makes a first down saving tackle on Leach to hold him to a field goal attempt from 50 yards out. The kick would be up, and it would be good. Arizona, 17 unanswered points here in this game. On 1st and 10, going to put together some more fourth quarter magic. The pass is caught by the fullback. That's Jerry Barnett. Rams have to go fast. 60 seconds left. Holcomb hangs on inside the 40 for a Rams first down. Trailing by 3. Another pass to the fullback. Barnett continues to be involved here on the offense this season. And now looking for the end zone. Overthrown for his number 2 wideout. From the 25. Over the middle. Hauled in this time. That's David Jackson for a first down. Under 20 seconds left to go. They go no huddle, and up the seam, it's a touchdown! Wagner to Holcomb. For the 3rd time this year, they score outside of the 2-minute warning, and with only a handful of seconds left, the Cardinals would have to put together a miracle drive to win this game. Their only score of the second half, by the way, for the Rams, and it's going to be the game-winning play. 1st and 10, this one's caught for the Cardinals for a first down. And 6 seconds left to go. Pressure coming. Simpson throws the ball away. They've got 1 second left. From their 43, the Rams bring 4. Simpson has he threw it. It is incomplete. And the Rams, once again, come from behind in the fourth quarter to take another close win here at home. We take it 28-24, and we move to 8-1 on the season. 4 touchdowns for Jesse Wagner, no picks, a fantastic day. Only 3 incompletions, more touchdowns than he did throwing incompletions. A fantastic performance, and this game would lead to a breakout performance from Jesse Wagner. 15,000 XP for that 4-touchdown day, and he would win his 3rd straight Player of the Week. Just simply an insane run in the middle of this final season. Now it's time for contracts. With a little bit of cap room, we could afford to sign a couple of players, including our kicker Glenn Douglas, to a 2-year contract. But guys like David Jackson and guys like Zach McCoy, veterans of this team, would have to depart once again, just like last year, because of our lack of cap room. Because Jesse Wagner, our quarterback, was like a $70+ million cap hit, so most players would not get extensions to close this season, including guys like Frank Drummond and Kevin Campbell. Zach McCoy's gone, but McCollum was a target for us to stick around because he was just racking up touchdowns as a slot receiver, and he would take a new 2-year deal to stay in Los Angeles. But our fullback's gone, our punter would have to depart as well, and we were essentially out of cap room after just 2 more extensions. And so it would enter our next week on another win streak. The Bengals and Texans fall to us, but the Steelers hold us to 3 points in Week 13 for just our 2nd loss of the season. And despite outgaining them, we could not finish drives and put points on the board. This was definitely our quarterback's worst game of the entire year. No touchdowns, 1 pick, sacked 3 times, and McCollum and Holcomb were both held to no touchdowns in this game either. And that would take us to a game against the Dallas Cowboys with the number 1 offense at 10-2, trying to bounce back, but the defense was not getting takeaways like they were last year because Forbes had retired. He was the main playmaker on this defense last year, and now he was gone. but the Rams would get back in the win column, taking down the Cowboys 35-28 behind a good bounce-back game for the offense and Jesse Wagner, 125 yards for Deontay and McCoon, and a touchdown for both Holcomb and McCollum. Once again, back to normal stuff for the offense, and Wagner is back to winning Player of the Week once again. Now we head into a pretty big game here, taking on Quincy Gales and the Detroit Lions. A quarterback duel here at home in SoFi. Another close fourth quarter finish here. Under 7 to go, Rams leading by 3, trying to take a nice lead here, approaching the end of this ball game. From the Lions 25. Play fake for Wagner. This pass is caught. McCoon slips inside the end zone for another touchdown. He's finally breaking off big plays and getting inside the goal line, and that has helped the offense just blossom into a huge powerhouse this season. Gales somehow spins and completes the pass inside the 10. A fantastic crossbody throw. They're trying to keep their hopes alive here in this one. Pass is batted away by Daniel Levy. 8 yards out. Setting up a screen. It's caught. And the Rams make the tackle at the 2-yard line. It is 3rd and goal for Detroit. Gales fakes it to his running back and then scrambles into the end zone for a touchdown. This game is not exactly over. It's back to a one-score game, just over 2 minutes to play here in this one, and they have all 3 timeouts. Rams take over from their 25. Handoff to Blackshear, outside, spun down after a 10-yard pickup. That would get us beyond the 2-minute warning. Lions now completely out of timeouts. 3rd and 6, 1 first down could end this game. Wagner's pass is caught by McCollum, but he is tackled 1 yard short, and the Lions will have a little bit of time to come back and potentially force overtime. 26 seconds to go on the clock. Gales underneath. Not a whole lot there. They could get one more playoff. Time counting down. Rams showing pressure. They bring 4. Play fake, and Gales is taken down in the backfield by another rookie, Marquise McCoy, and the Rams would hold on to win this game 24-21 to move to 12-2 on the season. Wagner continues to put together game after game, drive after drive, no mistakes, touchdown drives, and hardly any incompletions. The ground game was once again fantastic, over 4.5 per carry for a running back, and Deontay, McCoon, and McCollum are neck and neck for leading this team right now in touchdowns. A big sack by Marquise McCoy to close this game out, and Seattle would get their first win of the entire season coming against the Niners. Their first win comes here in week 15. Just insane, the downfall for them, but the Rams would continue their dominance, blanking the Ravens 31-0 behind another fantastic offensive display from our quarterback and from our running back. Over 100 yards on the ground for Blackshear, and touchdowns from David Jackson, McCoon, and now Bobby Shelton, our backup tight ends. We would get sacks from Richards, Finch, Levy, and Tim Studebaker, and a pick from George Vance to close out this shutout victory. And that would be a 5-game win streak to close the season after dropping that one against the Pittsburgh Steelers. The Rams would end the year with a 15-2 record as the 1 seed in the NFC, while the Chiefs would be the number 1 seed over in the AFC. But what a bounce back year for the offense. They would finish number 1 in scoring, number 3 in passing, number 3 in running, and the defense also played very well despite not forcing too many takeaways. They would be a top 10 scoring defense and were very, very good against the passing game as well. And Wagner had a career year, over 4,200 yards, 41 touchdowns, 4 picks, his best rating of his entire career to this point. Just his numbers this year were out of this world, the most touchdowns ever thrown by him in a season, and the least amount of picks thrown in one year, and I believe the third most passing yards thrown by him in his career, on the way to a potential MVP winning season. And how about Antonio Blackshear? Over 1,300 yards on the ground, 7 touchdowns, 80 yards per game. He was healthy the entire season. And Deontay McCoop would end up with over 1,000 receiving yards this year and 10 touchdowns for the first time in his career, while McCollum hauled in 16 touchdowns and just below 1,000 yards. Holcomb picks it right where things left off for him in his rookie season, and the offense overall was just fantastic across the board. But the defense, after 5 first-half sacks by Studebaker, he would only have 1 more sack the rest of the year, and Raheem Finch kind of fell off. Less than 5 sacks for him and only 4 takeaways all year long for this defense. Definitely way down from last year, and our kicker also missed way more kicks than he ever had in any previous year combined, with 4 missed field goals and 1 missed PAT, and one of those was blocked, but regardless, a down year for Glenn Douglas. But the first game for us would come against the Philadelphia Eagles, a rematch of that divisional round loss 2 years ago after they took down the Cardinals in the wild card weekend by 7 points. And coming in, once again like last year, George Vance is injured for the first 2 games of the playoffs thanks to a broken finger. That will take us into this game at home as our first game as the 1 seed coming against Philadelphia, who comes in trying to get back to the NFC Championship game like they did a couple years ago. It's Wagner versus Hudson here in this matchup. The Rams would drive down the field on their first drive of the game. Inside the red zone now with that Antonio Blackshear run. And 3rd and 6. Pressure coming on the screen. It goes incomplete. And the Rams are held to a field goal by the Philly defense. They would drive right back down the field on their next drive. The 25-yard line, incomplete once again on 3rd down. And back-to-back stops by Philly, holding us to 2 Glenn Douglas kicks. But Philly still scoreless here in the first half, approaching the 2-minute warning. That one's caught by David Jackson for a nice 8-yard pickup. 6 yards out from the end zone. Wagner over the middle has Blackshear inside the 5. A 13 for 17 passing day to start things out. And on 1st and goal, diving in, it's a touchdown for Antonio Blackshear. And the Rams lead 13-0, approaching halftime. But Eagle was trying to score and break this scoreless start. That one's caught on the Thaddeus Hudson completion, but only about 50 passing yards here in this first half for him. That one's caught again. 1st and 10. They will call timeouts, and they will take a field goal from about 45 yards, up and good, and they will get on the board at the break. We go to the second half. Rams up 13-3. And we are inside the 5 and now in the end zone for another Blackshear touchdown, his 2nd of the game. And Philly falls behind 20-3. And time is running thin for the Eagles. 4th and 5 from the Rams 5. Philly fakes the field goal, looking for the end zone, and it's not even close. And the Rams take over from their own 5-yard line. You force a 4-and-out on the next Philly possession and take over at their 25-yard line. And a couple of plays later, the Rams would once again score with a 4-yard Deontay McCoon touchdown. And the Rams take over 27-3. The game ends 34-10, and we get revenge on Philadelphia for that divisional round loss 2 years ago. And we're moving on to another NFC Championship game. Another great day for the offense. 34 points here in this one. Jesse Wagner just cannot be stopped right now. Only 5 incompletions. Over 230 passing yards. 2 touchdowns, no INTs. The ground game was fantastic. 2 touchdowns for Blackshear on about 90 or so yards on the ground. He had 3 in total with a receiving touchdown earlier, and Makuna that one as well to put the stamp on things. 3 sacks in this game, by the way, from rookie linebacker Marquise McCoy. 1 for Carlos Ruiz, 1 for Studebaker. 5 in total for our defense, and McCoy wins Player of the Week for his 3-sack performance. And now it's time to face the Carolina Panthers back in SoFi in the NFC Championship game. They come in at 10-7, and they would lead early on in this game, 7-0, driving once again, approaching the halftime break. Ben Collins breaks a nice run off here for a 9-yard pickup, and Carolina is once again threatening to score a touchdown, but it's picked off in the end zone on the very next play. Darius Richards, the longtime Ram, makes the touchdown-saving play, and Carolina gets nothing on the board on this drive, just undercutting that route intended for triplets. And the Rams have a chance to get some points on the board now, still trailing by a single touchdown. This one's high-pointed and caught for Antonio Blackshear. Gain of 8 brings up 3rd and 2. Trying to avoid a 3-and-out. Blackshear trying to reach across, but he is tackled short of the first down. And Carolina gets off the field. Offense comes back out, under 4 to play here in the first half. That one is just overthrown. Could have been a touchdown for Bryce Young, but instead he sailed it. And on 3rd and 10, his pass is caught this time, and he is absolutely gone off to the races. Panthers lead 14-0 off the big touchdown to Clayton Portis. So back-to-back plays, they had pretty much touchdowns ready to go, and this time it's actually caught and completes. A good throw by Young. Just had a couple of steps on Hartwell, and it's 1st and 10 Rams, trailing by 14 points at midfield. Jackson hangs on. He's got a first down. Only 66 yards at this point in the game, passing-wise for Wagner. Now on 3rd and 6, on the outside, it's hauled in. That is Denard McCollum. From their 28, back to throw again, underneath. Jackson turns upfield, first down. Just trying to get points on the board here prior to halftime. Holcomb up to the 6-yard line. Offense picking up some steam here. Trying to end the quarter strong. That's caught in the back of the end zone. It is Deontay McCoon for another playoff touchdown here in 2035. We go to the second half, starting with the football, trailing 14-7. We're going to tie things up on the opening possession of the half. David Jackson will move the sticks here. Back to throw on the slant. McCoon's got it for a gain of 9. Now Jesse Wagner's 14 for 17 passing. In the zone as well, but he's going backwards, taken down by Demarius Roberson for a big Carolina sack. 3rd and long. Dump off. McCollum trying to bounce this one outside, but there's nothing opening up. And the Rams will have to punt. 3rd and 9 for Bryce Young's offense. From the 9, it is complete to triplets for a 22-yard pickup. But now another 3rd and long. Second chance for a defense to get off the field. Young under pressure. Incomplete, out of bounds. Rams take over just inside their own 30. First play outside, it's David Jackson for a nice 8-yard grab. It comes to a 3rd and 2. Back to throw. Outside, this is caught for a first down. Bobby Walton with that reception. 2nd and 7, and Jackson is pinballed around, but he eventually gets across for another first down. Now 3rd and 3 from their 35. They give to Blackshear, spun around to move the chains once again. Rams driving to close this third quarter. A flag comes in here on 1st and 10. It's going to go against Carolina. Max Huffman called for pass interference. And now up the seam and caught for a touchdown. It is Deontay McCoon. His 2nd of the game. He continues to rack up touchdowns here, and by far his best year as a Rams wideout. Replay this one right up the numbers. Nobody close to him. And we are tied at 14 points apiece. But Ben Collins on their next drive with a big run outside into Rams territory. 82 yards on 10 carries at this point for Collins. Top of the fourth quarter. 11 minutes to go here in this one. Young looking deep down the field, but out of reach. And that brings up 4th and 10. They would punt the ball away from the 40. And the Rams take over, a chance to jump in front for the first time. David Jackson goes up to get it. And he's got another first down. Wagner 21 for 25 through the air. Back to throw on 2nd down. Holcomb has space for a first down inside the Carolina 35-yard line. Another just fantastic passing display by our quarterback here in year number 7 for him. 2nd and 9 now. Just inside the red zone. Plenty of time to throw. Underneath, McCoon gets inside the 10-yard line. A 13-yard pickup. Rams driving well. Right side, caught. Blackshear down at the 2. It's goal to go for the Rams. 2 yards out, fullback dive, Barnett shoved in. He reaches pay dirt, and the Rams take their first lead of the NFC Championship. .541 left to go. Carolina on the brink of being knocked out of the playoffs here, but it's only a one-score game. From their 35. RPO, keeper, Young has enough for a first down. He has ran the ball plenty in this ball game, up to 7 carries for 31 yards. And out through the air, it's caught as a flag comes in. And this one is going to come against the Rams defense for roughing the passer. Tack on 15 more yards. They're all the way up to the Rams' 21-yard line. RPO up the seam and caught. Inside the 2. It's Holloway. Goal to go. Collins fights his way in for a touchdown. The Panthers tie things up late in this fourth quarter. Just over 2 minutes to go here. Starting on the ground, Blackshear will gain 4 as Lampman goes down, one of the better defensive playmakers on this Carolina defense. He comes out. Holcomb is tackled inches short of a first down to bring up 3rd and extremely short. And the Rams elect to throw it, and it's batted away, intended for Denard McCullum. And the Rams would choose to punt the ball away and not go for it, despite being across midfield with only inches to go and a great running back behind the offensive line. A minute to go for Carolina to potentially walk this game off. A score could win it. From their 26, setting up a screen. Collins fights for a first down. The 41-yard line, the target line for their kicker. 30 seconds left, and that's one that's caught by Holloway. And they're approaching midfield. Young, flushed out, scanning, dumping it off. Now they're across midfield. Can the Rams defense put together one final stop and force overtime? Down the field and way overthrown by Bryce Young. The game's not over yet. 3rd and 4. Young trailing back and hit as he threw it away. And the defense will force overtime here in the NFC Championship game. But Carolina would win the coin toss. They would elect to receive, and they would start with the football in the final period of the season. 1st and 10. Handoff to Collins. Cutting back inside. He gains 4. 90 yards now for him, plus that touchdown. And now, awkward play here. Incomplete. Raheem Finch with that pass breakup. That brings up 3rd and 6. They fake it to Collins. Young's got so much time to throw, and it's floated to triplets for a first down inside the Rams' 45-yard line. Now, despite if they score or not, the Rams will have one chance to answer, but Young is taken down on the very next play. A 6-yard sack by Raheem Finch. Fakes it second and long. Young under pressure again, and guess who? It's Marquise McCoy. His 4th sack of the playoffs in just 2 games. The rookie making a big play, a big impact here in this playoff run. And on 3rd and forever, Young cannot get the pass to his receivers. And the Rams defense forces an overtime punt. If the Rams score, they're going to a 3rd Super Bowl appearance. Wagner's pass caught by Jackson. He gains 8. Only 5 incompletions on the day for Jesse Wagner, and Jackson's having quite the day for himself. Over 130 receiving yards in this one. That one's caught for a first down by Blackshear. Up to her 46, keeping it through the air. This one is caught for another first down by our 3rd string tight end. Now on the ground, Blackshear breaks a tackle and is inches short of another chain mover. Next play, right back to him, first down and more. Tackled at the 30-yard line. Approaching really good field goal range here for Glenn Douglas. 3rd and 6, we're going to throw it. It is caught by Jackson, but a yard short of the first down. And now comes out Glenn Douglas. They will ice him first. But it's 4th and 1 for the Rams. This one comes from 38 yards out. Douglas kicks it through the uprights, and the Rams are headed back to the Super Bowl. An overtime victory against the Carolina Panthers. We trailed from 14 down, and we came back to win 24-21. And we are back in the title game after 2 years removed from our 2nd title in the series. What a game. The defense really stepped up there in that overtime period. And Wagner, I just cannot say enough. He has been so damn good. 34 for 40 passing, over 300 passing yards. And a big day in what could have been his final game for David Jackson. Over 130 yards, over 10 receptions. Bakun racks up touchdowns once again. And Marquise McCoy, Raheem Finch, and other guys really stepped up. Big pick in the end zone by Darius Richards to prevent a touchdown on the 2nd quarter drive there by Carolina. And because of his big day, Marquise McCoy also reaches star dev just like Frank Drummond did earlier this season. And it's going to be a 1-seed matchup in the Super Bowl. Chiefs-Rams, a rematch of the Year 5 meeting where we absolutely destroyed them. Looking for a similar performance in this game next episode, folks. That's going to be the last episode of the entire series, is this matchup in San Francisco at Levi Stadium between these 2 1-seed teams. We come in the number 1 offense. They have the number 6 offense and number 2 scoring defense. Both teams top 10 in both scoring categories. And would you look at this? Jesse Wagner wins his first ever MVP here in the final season, year 13 with the Rams. And Damian Leak, for the first time maybe ever, wins Coach of the Year, leading the Rams to a 15-2 record and hopefully a Super Bowl title run. What a year for the Rams. Wagner also wins Offensive Player of the Year, and he would go on to win Best Quarterback as well. While Tim Studebaker is 2nd place in Defensive Rookie of the Year. It is a miraculous, fantastic, incredible journey for this team. Our quarterback is still only number 2 in the league, by the way. Not even sure who's first right now, but he is playing like the best quarterback in the league. That is why he won the award. I cannot wait to see this final game with the Rams. It's going to be live commentary as well, so be ready for that one. And now we got a question about Leak's legacy, looking for his 3rd Super Bowl title to join only a couple of head coaches to ever win that many titles. And all of them will come with the Rams if we can just win 1 more game to end the series. But it's not about us. This one is about Wagner. It's about our quarterback. It's about our players. Their legacy matters more than Leak's does right now because these guys got us to this point. And both teams, by the way, will come in with fully healthy rosters. George Vance returns for our defense, and both teams have 0 injuries on their report coming into the final game of the season. And this is the offense that got us to this point. Jesse Wagner, Antonio Blackshear, Deontay McCoon. Holcomb earns X Factor in just his second year on this offense. David Jackson had a really big last game against Carolina. The offensive line was great all year long. This team just put the pieces together. They found what worked. They stuck with it, and they won 15 games and now 2 straight playoff wins to go into the Super Bowl game facing the Kansas City Chiefs. Now on defense, though, Levy, Finch, Richards all lose X Factor depth trait, but George Vance and our second overall pick will keep it. But Drummond and McCoy both go up by 1 depth trait to star dev. And this is the defense that really rebounded after a pretty rough scoring year last year. They have come into their own, and we have 1 game left with this roster, with this team. I will see you guys there. Please like the video, subscribe, leave your thoughts down below, and I will see you guys there for the final game of this series. Peace out and have a great day.